Okay, today we're going to cover perimeter again, but today we're going to look at perimeter with an unknown side length. Unknown side lengths means there's one side that's missing. We don't know it. We have to figure out what it equals. Okay? So first, let's review perimeter. How do we find perimeter of a shape? What do we do, Bryson?
Either multiply or is it divide?
Neither.
Add?
Add what?
The 7 and no.
For perimeter, remember rim means rim going around the outside edges. So you're going to add all sides. Okay? Okay, but today we're going to look at what we do to figure out if we don't know one of the sides. How are we going to figure this out? Okay? So let's look at what the question says at the very top. Okay? Everybody with me where it says unlock the problem?
Yes.
Okay, it says Chin has 27 feet of fencing to put around the garden. He has already used the lengths of fencing shown. How much fencing does he have left for the last side? Okay, so anytime you hear fencing or border, what should you think of? What should you think of, Brandon, if you hear the words fencing or border? Should we think of area? Should we think of multiplication? Should we think of subtracting? Should we think of perimeter? Should we think of shapes? What should we think of? No. Bryson.
Perimeter.
Perimeter. Thank you. Somebody's paying attention. So fencing, border, anything going around the outside edges of something should remind you or make you think of what, class?
Perimeter.
Perimeter. Thank you. Okay, so we know he has 27 feet total in all. So what you want to do first is add up all the sides that we already know. So in this case, we have a 5, a 3, a 7, a 4. Okay, so we're going to write those numbers down and add them up first. 5, 3, 7, 4. We don't know the last side, the N. Okay? So anytime you see a letter in math, it's just standing for a number that we don't know.
N is the number.
Yes, but it doesn't always have to be an N. It could be an X or a Y, any letter. Okay, so the first step, we're going to add up the sides we know. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. Good. And 15 plus 4 is 19. Okay, so we add all those up and we get 19.
Because the arrow is also going up.
Okay, so now we need to take our perimeter, which was 27, right here,
And add it.
and subtract the sides that we added up. Okay, so step 1, we add all of the sides that we know. Step 2, we're going to subtract the perimeter and those sides that we just added up. So 27 minus 19, what would that give me? Evangeline?
0?
Nope. 27 minus 19 is not 0. 27 minus 27 is 0. Aaliyah? 8. Okay, so the missing side would equal 8. Right
So
here.
that's the N number.
The N would be 8. Okay? So Chin has 8 feet of fencing left. Okay? So that's what we're doing today. Unknown sides. We need to figure them out by doing 2 things. We add the sides we know, and we subtract that from the perimeter like we did here.
Now they all equal 27.
Okay? Now all of those numbers should add up to 27, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, or example 2. Find unknown side lengths of a square. Well, what's special about a square? Gregory?
There's, let's see, there's the same number on each side.
Very good. Every number is going to be the same. So, that's why we can just multiply, because it's like repeated addition. So I'm going to say 4 times what? What number? Everybody see where I'm at?
Yes.
4 times something is going to give me 20, because the perimeter of this shape, they said, was 20. Okay? So why am I using the number 4, though? Kelsey?
11.
Okay, but if I'm doing 4 times S, these are my S's, where is the 4 coming from? Allie?
From the sides.
Good, there's 4 sides. So 4 sides times some number, and then they all have, it has to be the same number, would give me 20. So what number times 4 would give me 20?
16.
Aaliyah, you know? 5. Good. So let's see how that makes sense. This is 5, 10, 15, 20. So each side would have to equal 5. Okay, and we will practice, we're going to practice more of this. So the steps are a little bit different than what we did up here, because all of the sides are the same on a square. Okay, any questions so far? No? Okay, flip the page. Okay, last example. We're going to find the unknown side lengths this time of a rectangle. We know there's also something special about a rectangle. And what is it? What's special about a rectangle? Kaylee, do you remember?
The same amount.
The same amount on all 4 sides? No. So if this is 5, then this is 5. Does that mean these are 5 also?
Yes.
No.
No. But what does it mean? You know, Kaylee? Not all 4 sides are the same, but opposite sides are the same, right? Evangeline, what are you going to say?
But if there's a 4 on other sides, the other side of it will be?
Good. Whatever there is on one side, the opposite side will be the same number. So if I can find this number right here, then it's going to be the same over here, right? Okay. So let's look at the steps for finding the missing side on a rectangle. Lauren has a rectangular blanket. The perimeter is 28 feet. The width of the blanket is 5 feet. What is the length of the blanket? Okay. So step 1, we're going to add the lengths of the sides you know, just like we did at the very beginning. We're going to add the sides we know. 5 plus 5.
10.
Okay. Same thing as before. Now we're going to subtract it from the perimeter.
18.
The perimeter was 28, and we need to subtract 10.
18.
Okay, good. It is 18. So this is the same two steps that we did in the first problem. But now, since it's a rectangle, I can't just say both of these sides are 18. I have to split it in half. Okay? So all that means is I take 18 and divide it by 2. Or you can think to yourself, what plus what equals 18? That's the same as dividing it in 2. It has to be the same number. So what would it be, Aaliyah? 9. Very good. Okay, so 9 plus 9 is 18. So that means the missing length of the blanket is 9 feet. Okay, I'm going to give that a second to soak in. Everybody got that written down? Okay, so we did the same two things. We added the sides we know, and then we subtracted that from the perimeter. There's just one extra step on a rectangle. You then have to take that number and split it in half because you have actually two missing sides. Okay? So this would be 9 and this would be 9. What could I do to check my answer to make sure it's correct? Bryson?
You could do add 5 and 9.
5 plus 9, just one time?
Twice.
Twice. 5 plus 5 plus 9 plus 9. We can add all the sides and they should equal, no, 28 because that's our perimeter. Okay? 5 plus 5 is 10. 9 plus 9 is 18. And 10 plus 18 is 28. Okay? So if I had just left this in 18 and put 18 here and 18 here, would that have been correct? No, it would have been way bigger than 28. Okay? So make sure whatever numbers you get, they all have to add up to your perimeter that they gave you. Okay?
Can we do number 1 by ourselves?
Okay, let's try number 1 together, and then I will let you do 2 and 3 on your own. Okay? So one more together. Okay, so perimeter is 25 centimeters. I have a missing side right here. So step 1, we need to do what? Who remembers? Kelsey? I can't hear you. You forgot what you were going to say. Who can help her out? If you need to look back, see what we did first. What did we do first here? Aaliyah? Add the parts we know. So if you need to write a little reminder, step 1, add sides. Oh, y'all can't see that. Add sides we know. Step 1. Okay? So they already wrote the 9 for us. So what needs to go here and here? Brandon? They already put the 9, so what needs to go here and here? Pay attention. That's not a trick question. No. Kelsey?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. Where's the 6 and 3 coming from, Brandon?
From the shape.
From the shape, yes. There's a 9, a 6, and a 3. Okay? So let's add those up. What's 9 plus 6? 15 plus 3,
18.
18. So all of the sides we know added together equals 18. Okay? That's step 1. Add the sides you know. What's step 2? Allie?
Divide the...
Nope.
No, I mean divide 25 and 18.
Nope. Not divide. Do you see a division symbol?
No, I meant that side.
Oh, we don't know our symbols anymore? That's not a division. There you go. Subtract from the perimeter. I'm just going to put P for perimeter. So in this case, the perimeter is what?
25.
25. And I'm going to subtract 18. What would that give me? Bryson? No. Aaliyah? No. Come on, guys. 7. Okay, so the missing side equals 7. Okay? There's only 2 steps on this one, but if you had a rectangle, there is a third step. You would do what? Bryson? If there's a rectangle, we have an extra step. We would have to do what at the end? Divide it by 2. So make sure when you get to a rectangle, you have to do 1 extra step. Okay? Alright, I want you guys to try 2 and then we look back at the examples we just did, because these are just like the first one we did right here, and then the blanket one that we just did. Okay? Okay, let's check. 34 was the perimeter for a rectangle. Okay? So we're going to look at the steps for this example. What did we do first on this blanket? Bryson?
We added 5 plus 5.
Good. We add the lengths of the sides you know. So we're going to add the 7 plus 7 first. Okay? That should have been your first step. Okay? If we look back at the top, what did we do second?
We subtract 28.
We subtracted the perimeter and this number that we just got when we added. Okay? So on this one, what would I subtract?
14. No, 31.
Aaliyah?
34 minus 14.
Okay, good. 34 minus 14. Okay, but now I can't just put 20 here, because if I put 20 here, then that means this would have to be 22. So 20 plus 20 is already 40. Can I have a perimeter of 40 already? No, because it can only be 34. So we have to do one more thing. What is it, Kaylee? Divide. So I need to take the 20 and split it in 2, or divide it by 2, because it's actually 2 numbers that we're finding. Okay, so what is 20 divided by 2?
10.
10. Good. So 10 would be your final answer. Okay, now let's see if that makes sense. If I put 10 here and 10 here, I add up all the sides and they should equal what?
13.
Nope. If I add up all 4 sides, what should they equal?
34.
34, my perimeter. Okay. What's 10 plus 10?
20.
20 plus 7? 27. And 27 plus 7? 34. So we are correct, because it added up to 34. Okay. Number 3. This was like the example we did in the beginning with the square. all four sides are the same, so we take the 4 and we have to figure out what it's multiplying by to equal 12. That's the same thing as doing a division problem, okay? So I could start by just doing 4 rows if I don't know my facts yet. So that's 4, 8, 12. How many columns did I make, Javea?
4.
Nope. 3. 1, 2, 3. So 4 times 3 equals 12. So let's put that out here and see if that makes sense. Would that make sense to have 3 on every side?
Yes.
Yes, because it adds up to 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay? Okay, before we go on to this page, 6, 7, 8, and 9, I want to add a couple things in our math notebook. So go ahead and take a pause on this and get out your math notebook. Okay, turn to the next clean page you can find. The last thing we wrote was on perimeter. Okay, so if you have room, you can continue on that same page, and we're going to put unknown side lengths. Okay, so I just drew this funky shape and I labeled all the sides. Before you start writing anything, who can tell me what I would do to find this missing side? What would be step 1? Kaylee?
Add the numbers together.
Add the sides you know. Okay, so we would add 5, 7, 3, 2, 5. Okay, so if we add the sides we know, I get 22. Okay, and I'm going to give you a second to get that written down, and then we'll talk about the next step. You should be writing this down, Brandon. We got it?
Yes. No.
All right, who can tell me what would be the second step to find the missing side? Bryson?
The second step is to you will go to subtract the length from the perimeter.
Yes, we're going to subtract from the perimeter what we just added. Okay, the perimeter is 28, so I would do 28 minus 22. Okay, so that's it. Your answer would be 6, right? X was our missing side, so X would equal 6. Okay, take good notes because you're going to be able to use these on work that you're doing, okay? You want to be able to actually use this, so make sure you're writing everything down and writing it correctly. Okay? This is just one missing side. So now let's review what we just learned on if there is a rectangle with 2 missing sides. The steps are the same, but we have one extra one, right? Okay, so when I have a rectangle, if it were 5 and 5, then we have M and M. And the perimeter equals, let's just say, 30. What would I do first? Haley?
Add 5 plus 5.
Good. Add sides we know. Five plus 5. Step 2. Brandon, what will we do next?
Subtract 10 from 2.
Good. Subtract from, and I'm just going to put P this time, but P should stand for what?
Perimeter.
Perimeter. So you would do 30, because over here it tells me that the perimeter is 30, minus 10. Okay, so those are the same 2 things we just did, but now we have one extra step. Because it's not just one side we're finding 2, and I know they're the same. Who remembers what we do next? Aaliyah? Good, we're going to divide by 2, which is the same thing as splitting it in half. Split it in half, or what's half of 20? What would it equal? Kelsey? What's half of 20? What plus what equals 20? It has to be the same number. Allie?
10.
10. Okay, so our missing side, M, is 20. Or not 20, 10. So let's see if that makes sense. If I put 10 for this side and 10 over here and add up all these sides, it should equal what? 30. So what's 10 plus 10?
24.
Plus 5?
25.
25 plus 5? 30. Okay? So if you had forgotten to do this extra step and you put 20 as your side, that would be way more than 30. Okay? Okay, one more thing that we went over today was a perfect square. So if I have a square, all the sides are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay. So who remembers what you would do for a perfect square if all the sides are the same? And the perimeter, let's just say it equals 24. How am I going to figure out what this S equals? Bryson?
You will subtract. Add the lengths of sides you know, but there is no side.
Yeah, we don't know any sides, so we can't add up anything.
Subtract the length from the perimeter.
We don't have any length to subtract. We have nothing. All we have is the perimeter. But we know there's 4 sides, and we know they're all equal.
So we do 5 minus, or 5 plus.
We're not going to just guess, though, because you're just throwing out a number, right? And you're just trying to add it up to see if it equals 20 or 24. But what's the correct way to do it? Allie?
Do it with the full sides. The full sides.
Okay, good. So I'm going to take the S and multiply it by 4, or ask myself what number times 4 is going to give me 24. If I don't know, then I have to work it out. Okay? How can I figure this out? What number times 4 equals 24? Could I skip count by 4s?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it'd be 4, 8, 12. What comes next? 16.
24.
Okay, now I can stop. I count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skips. So that tells me that S equals 6. That's it. It becomes a multiplication or division problem when you get to a square, because there's 4 sides and they're all the same. So if I say all of these are a 6, I check to make sure I'm right by adding them all up. What's 6 plus 6? 12 plus 6? 18 plus 6? 24. So I know 6 is correct. Okay? Alright, so that's all we're going to write in our notebooks. The 3 things we went over today: a perfect square, a rectangle, and then just any shape with one missing side. Okay? You may keep this out, because what you're going to do next is 6 through 9 on your own. And then we're also going to tear out your assignment, which is this page, practicing what we just went over, page 561. So 2 things. We're going to do 6 through 9. I'm going to come around and check to make sure you're on the right track, because we don't want to be doing them incorrectly and then go on to our assignment and continue doing the incorrect thing, okay? We'll check that, and then this will be your assignment. You're going to turn this in to the math bucket, okay? 561. You may use your math notebook, the notes we just wrote, okay?
Sure, go.